Hey everyone, welcome back to the Laserdisc Repair Bench. Today we're going to talk about motor holders and how they're used on laser assemblies, issues and fixes, and just kind of some general troubleshooting. So let's get to it. The most normal issue you're going to run into is either you have an existing player that skips around, doesn't work, the tray doesn't eject. There could be a myriad of issues, but it's all related to that laser sled not sliding around. And normally that means that you have a bad motor holder. So a lot of the players that I get, they arrive in from shipping and the tray won't open, or the laser sled won't move. And so obviously if they're a factory motor holder, they get damaged in shipping. Sometimes I'll buy them broken too. But that's the most common issue that I see. And another way you can check is by listening, and you can hear parts rattling around. Normally that's the two gears, the actual motor, and parts of the M holder. This guy can break apart and it'll be inside, kind of just shuffling around. First steps you want to do is you've got to get that tray open, and there's a couple videos that I have on my channel about getting a tray open if the player doesn't have power or the laser assembly won't move around, and you can find those. I'll try to link them in the description. But once you get the tray out, you want to get that laser assembly pulled out. There's normally a ribbon cable on the back here. You just have to undo. There's a little clip that helps secure the ribbon cable. Pull that clip out, pull the ribbon cable off, and then it's just a matter of getting the rail out that this slides along. So I mentioned earlier that one of the things moving around could be the motor. And when I talk about the motor, I'm actually talking about this right here. This turns this worm gear here, which in turn spins these two gears down here. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. But what can happen is if the motor holder is somewhat broken or shattered, it will force this motor to the ribbon cable or flex PCB to literally shear off from the two contacts on here. And this has actually happened on this one and on this one. You can tell a lot more with this one because it's just kind of floating out here. The whole extra piece that would have gone over here is missing. And so once you assess that and you find that, hopefully you find all the parts, then you can kind of make a judgment call on how you want to fix this. I've found two ways so far. The first way is, as you can probably see, there are obviously two leads on the motor, and then there are two leads right here. And this far contact right here goes all the way over to the bottom contact. Might be able to see this a little bit better. So this cable is going to go to the far part of the motor, and this cable is going to go to the near contact on the motor. But you have these contacts stacked one on top of the other. It's really tight soldering, so only do that if you have really steady hands. The other way I fix this is if I have a little bit more of that flex PCB cable lying around, you can actually bridge the connection. As you see I've done right here, I just took a single wire and scratched off this part of the PCB. You can just take a X-Acto knife or just something with a sharp blade and knock that first layer off, and you'll get exposed copper. And then you just bridge that connection, and same with this one. I actually had the ribbon cable was really close here, the flex PCB, I keep saying that, so I didn't have to cut too much off there. But this seemed like a little bit better way to me. One other thing I wanted to bring up about these two solutions is you normally have this cable, ribbon cable guide that fixes to the back here, and it just helps keep that ribbon cable secure and in place and kind of guide it towards the back of the laser assembly. So when you put these cross connects in, it's pretty much impossible to put this guy back in place. So you're left with just having the ribbon cable. I mean, it is in there, and you do clamp it down with this here. So there is a method to secure the ribbon cable, but that plastic piece is just a little extra insurance. So with redoing this flex PCB, you're definitely able to put this back on. Just to wrap things up, I wanted to cover a couple of additional items. If you're going to be soldering the jumper wires, you do want to make sure that these are pretty well tamped down, pretty much flush or a little bit below. It's hard to do without breaking those off, but you see how it kind of lines up with the laser there. You will bump into the disc with the wires, you will hear a terrible noise. Ask me how I know. And you'll have to do it eventually. Otherwise it affects playback of the discs. And then for this one, you'll want to put some kind of a high temperature masking tape or soldering tape or something around these leads, just in case they move around and they make contact with the motor or something else. You just want to avoid any potential issues there. And that is it for today. So kind of a quick focus topic on M holders and a couple ways to fix them. So thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next one.